welcome back to another UML Operator episode. Last week, I got asked a great question, and that was for custom stereotypes, is there a way to have default tag values? And that answer is absolutely yes. There's actually 4 approaches to building your own custom class elements, stereotypes, tag values, and constraints. And today we're going to focus on UML profiles. So let's get started. First off, a special thank you to JibberJabber4540 for asking this question. I talked about this briefly, probably too briefly, in our MDG Technology series. And thus, in this episode, I want to focus solely on UML profiles and building out our elements, our desired elements, and even connectors that we want to use custom stereotypes for. Now, earlier I'd stated for class elements, but you can build custom stereotypes, tag values, constraints, and configure the elements, any element in Sparx for your desired outcome. So why create a UML profile? There are several reasons to create UML profiles. The first one is create more productive and effective modeling. The second one is create a defined and repeatable practice in your delivery. 3 is, and not necessarily in any order, but to share your model approach across teams and projects. And the last one is expedite model development through trial and error. Let's say you want to use the same element and even connector configuration, which we'll demonstrate in a personal modeling exercise. You can create an element and extend the OO objectives with stereotypes, constraints, and tag values. So the steps are first to create a working prototype. Then it's to create documentation, for example, requirements and scenarios for use. We want to create some tag values that we can test and demonstrate. We want to create other tooling such as legends. And we want to make sure that we build this around a software configuration management delivery practices, SCM, to support strategies, governance, and principles. As I had stated in the previous MDG technology, we want to create 2 different environments. These are secure environments that require user access. So we've created 2 instances. One is for the approach testing, which creates the prototype, the legends, and the tooling for us to develop our requirements. And then we'll come back here and we'll do testing of our UML profile and any other development we did. The second one is for the actual development of the UML profile and anything further that we want to do from an MDG technology perspective. But again, we're only focused on UML profiles for this demonstration. Now, this next part is very important and part of normal standards for developing code. So you want to make sure you have a clean environment. We're going to close our requirements project and only focus on our development environment, ensuring that it's clean. Clean means it doesn't have any conflicting UML profiles or MDG technologies that could impact or corrupt or cache your development effort for your final product. There's 2 ways to get started. The first one is that you could just add a package to your root node here and then call it whatever the project is. And we're just going to name this package AP Architecture Planning, Architectural Proposal, whatever you want AP to stand for, but have a naming convention for your packages that's unique and meaningful to the effort. And now we have a package in our project browser called AP Approach. And if we right click on it and we go to properties, we can add a stereotype. And we're going to use EA UML Profile. And in here, we have a stereotype called Profile. I'm going to go ahead and select OK. And now I can create a diagram. So what I'm going to do is hit Create Diagram. We're going to create a class diagram. And as soon as I do this, you'll notice that the toolbox is not your typical class diagram toolbox. It is a profile toolbox. So that's one way to do it. I just think that the MDG wizard is far easier. So let's do that approach. So again, make sure you have a clean environment. We're going to delete this package we just created because we do not want it interfering with what we've got going on. And so what we're going to do at the root node called model, we're going to use Model Builder. And in Model Builder, we are going to look for MDG Technologies, and we're going to add a basic template. Go ahead and create it. And we're going to call it, again, AP Approach. And AP for me stands for Architecture Practice. But the bottom line is that you have a naming convention, and we usually will prepend whatever the acronym is for that convention to signify what we're doing here in this particular namespace. So let's go ahead and hit OK. And it's going through and it's creating the profile package for us automatically with a toolbox. It's also creating a toolbox profile, again, with the same toolbox, and then a diagram, as you learned in the MDG series. So we're only focused on the profile, this first one right here. These other ones, I'm not interested in. I can remove them, gray them, delete them, whatever I want to do. But just make sure that we're working on the profile diagram as we get started. And again, before we drop in our first element, we want to make sure we're clean. We're in the Start tab. We're going to go to Perspectives. And I want to make sure I don't have any conflicting perspectives. And evidently there is one in here for testing. And let's just double check. Yeah, I only want to see, yep, there is an MDG in here. Not good. We're going to remove that. We're going to hit save. Then we're going to delete. I don't have to delete it, but I want to make sure that I don't have anything cached in my development environment. Now we have a separate machine that we do development that's completely clean. We're going to go over to resources in the browser and MDG Technologies. We have a user technology for the MDG we created for solutioning tools. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Specialize. We're going to go to Technologies, and then we're going to find that MDG. There it is right there. I'm going to select Advanced, make sure that's clean. Then I'm going to uncheck this, and I am going to basically remove this. So it's unchecked. There we go. We're over in the Resource tab in the browser. It's doing its thinking, and you see it disappear. Then for final cleaning, I'm looking through the rest of the resources. I have any custom reports. I've not brought in any reference data. I have no patterns. And if I go to settings, UML types, I have no custom stereotypes. My tag values is completely clean. There are no tag values in there. So I think we're ready to start. So as you learned in the MDG series, the first thing we're going to do is start with our stereotypes. And we're going to call this one AP, all lowercase, approach, AP underscore approach. So we have our first stereotype in here, and we're going to right click in here. And because you're in profile, we're going to edit with profile helper. We get this dialog that pops up, and we want to add a meta class. And because we're focused on class elements, that's what we're going to start with. You have all these to choose from, but we're going to demonstrate using class element. We're going to go ahead and hit OK. Then for the meta type, I like to use a naming convention, camel AP, all cap, underscore, approach. You, again, could use camel and not have the underscore in there, but this is the approach I'm taking. We are not going to touch any of the other properties, we're going to leave the defaults that are there, and we're going to hit OK. So it basically creates our meta class. It is extended. This is an extension connection or association to our stereotype. I want to baseline this to create a version of just the profile namespace. Control-Alt-B, bring this up. We're going to go a new baseline. It's going to be 01, and I'm just going to say getting started. Put anything you want there. Leave the date and timestamp in there if you want. There we go. We got a baseline. Because I'm in Sparx 17, I also have timelines. So I can right-click in here, show snapshot. We basically didn't have anything. And then we added these two elements. And I want to save this snapshot. And I'm just going to, again, call it getting started. Just so I have a snapshot of where we are in case I take a break or I'm disrupted and need to come back. And where did we pick up? So now I want to create my tag values for this stereotype. I'm going to use enumeration. I'm going to drag and drop this in here, and I'm going to call it impact effort. Impact effort, something unique and meaningful. So we've created that, and we're going to bring up the features window. I'm going to drag and drop it right here is fine. Make it a little bit wider. If you don't already have this in your configuration, you can go to Start, Design, and where is it? Properties, Features, right here. Element Features does the same thing. You can see it focused right on it. So we're going to add some attributes. We're on the Attribute tab in Features, and we're going to add 4 attributes. Reuse. And then the next one is going to be enhance. And then the next one's going to be new. And the next one's going to be test. All right, so we've got those in there. And I'm going to save. I'm going to move features back over. Matter of fact, let me put it down below my work area so I can quickly get to it for any modifications we want to make. I select it. There's the feature attributes we've added that represent our tag values. Let's now add our tag values to our stereotype AP approach. And we're going to right click on here. And again, we're going to go to edit with profile helper, and we're going to select tag values. And in here, we're going to right click in this area, add specialized tag values because ours are custom. We have an enumeration for this. And we're going to call this the same name, impact effort. Going to hit OK. We're going to find it. We have our enumerations in our profile package. They could be in any other package. We just need to find them in our development namespaces. I'm going to hit OK. And you can set a default value if you want or leave it blank. We're going to leave it blank. And now we have our tag values represented in the stereotype, which is extended to this class element. Now, what I like to do is select the stereotype, and you can see in the features window, here's our enumeration that we added, our tag values. Initial value, I'm going to hit these triple dots, and I get this dialog box. I'm going to put in a bracket, make a selection. This is what I want as the default initial value. I'm going to hit OK. It tells me in the stereotype, that's what I've set. Now I'm ready for my first test. And the first thing I'm going to do is baseline my profile package, version 02, ready for first test. There we go. We have it baseline, feeling good, and we're ready to test. We're going to do unit testing in our model development environment. We are going to go to specialize. We want to make sure we're on the profile namespace. We are going to go to the technologies panel, hit this little down arrow. This should be enabled. Import package as UML profile. Now, before I do that, we're over in the resource tab in the browser and user technologies. There's nothing in it. We're going to do this again. Go to Publish Technologies, import packages UML Profile. It's thinking, it's doing its thing, and it is done. It is in the model technologies, not user technologies. It would show up in user technologies as you learn in MDG Technologies if it was in the app data folder for your installation. It would show up in system if it is in the Sparx system folder as you learned earlier. So model technologies, it is there and available for testing. Let's create a perspective for this test case. So we're going to start, we're going to go to all windows, perspective, we're going to go to settings, and this is going to be personal. We're going to create a new one, and this is AP_approach testing. Just give it a meaningful name. And in this, let's turn off show selected. Let's minimize these to make it easier. You can see here is the UML profile we just brought in. So we're going to hit check it, and then we're going to hit save, and then I'm going to go show. And we just have common toolboxes along with our UML profile that we just created. We're going to go ahead, just hit close, and let's create a, go back to browser. Let's create a root node. Right click. I'm going to add a new root node, and I'm just going to call it testing. I could call it unit testing, what have you. And in this testing, we're going to add a package. Just give it any name you want. I'm just going to go package one. Take the default. With a diagram, we're going to use class, create the diagram, and there we go. We're going to go hit the down arrow here and look for our perspective. We don't see it. We're going to change perspective. You could do it here, or you could do it over in the right-hand corner, all perspectives. Personal sets, there is the one we created. Now when I hit this, there is the perspective, and there is our test element. And let's bring in a second one. And its naming is working. Everything is working there. Let's test our tag values on the first element right here. Let me bring properties up here in front of us. And you'll see here is our tag value for impact effort. It says make a selection. We're going to go ahead and hit the drop down. This first one's going to be reuse. This next one, make a selection. We just selected in the work area. This one's going to be enhance, right? Let's go ahead now. You can do it in the compartment. If you right click here, you can go to on a single element. You see compartment visibility, and you can turn on tags. I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to do it for the entire diagram. Just double click there. Go to elements, and we're going to turn on. We want to see tag values for every element in this diagram. Hit OK. There are our tag values. So it works here. We want to share this with our testing environment. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is select the package right here that we want to export. We're going to be using XMI or native XML. We're going to browse where we want to place it, and we're going to save it there. And I'm going to overwrite the existing one, and let's just go ahead and export. So now this has been exported to a shared folder. This could be a RAS, a reusable asset repository, or other SQL instance where you're developing, and we want to import it into this testing environment. This is a local testing environment on the same machine. So what we're going to do here is go to the root node right here, Control, Alt, and I for import. We're going to browse where we place that, hit open, and we're going to leave all the defaults here. You do not want to strip GUIDs, global unique IDs. We probably should baseline, but we're not going to baseline. We're just going to go ahead and select import. Yes. And here it comes. Let's go ahead and close this. It is complete. And let's go ahead and open this. So now we have the profile here where we can go to specialize. Well, let me show you first. Let's maximize this, UML profiles. It's not in this instant yet. So let's go back to browser, select profile. Then what we're going to do in specialize tab is import package as UML profile. So it is done thinking. Let's go to resources, and there it is. So we have it here available to us. The perspectives are shared across instances. Rather interesting, right? So let's go to personal set. Here is our perspective we created in a separate instance. Let's go to settings. Let's go to personal. Let's look at it. It picked up our AP approach because now it is available in this instance. If it was not available, you would not see it in this perspective. Let's go ahead and hit close. And let's go ahead and close the profile. We don't need that open anymore. I'm going to create a package just called testing because I want an environment that is separate. Go ahead and hit create diagram. We're going to create a class diagram. I'm on that perspective, so I want to change to all so I can get to class diagram, create diagram. Now I have a blank diagram here. I'm going to go ahead and hit the hamburger menu up here, and I see approach perspective is set. And here's our element. It's working. Let's go to properties. The properties are right here. Let's look at tag values. There we go. That's working. Let's just make that one enhance. Let's bring in a second one. There we go. Now we have this one. It has a make a selection for tag value. Let's go new. All right. And then in the diagram, let's go ahead to elements. Let's turn on tag values and let's look at them. There we go, new and used. Remember earlier we did our test on our legend. Is our legend still working? Bring it over. Yes, our legend is still working. All right, we're going to wrap up now. So in this episode, you've learned how to create custom stereotypes and apply them to elements, including tag values. And for a lot more information, you can watch the MDG Technology series that we did. We'll continue to add to it. I'll probably put this in the playlist as well. I find making MDG technologies much easier to deploy across teams, but for personal use, you saw how fast and easy it was to create your own custom stereotypes and tag values with those and share those across Sparx instances. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Please leave comments down below. If you got any other questions or concerns, post them and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks again for watching this, and until the next episode, happy modeling.